unpause in 3, 2, 1.
Boom.
So this is on Thursday on the much more open version of Arabia.
Yes.
I actually wasn't expecting this to change before the tournament finals. I don't know how it's going to change each player's... Because a lot of them have done a lot of preparation for this tournament, obviously having played on the original Arabia.
And I was really excited to ask you about that actually, because I think, I haven't played it a whole lot, or even seen much of it, but from what I have played since this new Arabia came out, it feels so different.
Absolutely.
And I kind of love it though. Like personally, I really like the changes, but I can definitely tell that in the middle of a tournament, especially just coming into the finals of a tournament, that can really be a kind of, it can throw the players off.
Especially if you've got planned like things like Drush FC or other kind of build orders, which I find which are more risky here.
Yeah, exactly.
Hammer time. This is unfortunately recorded. We couldn't actually manage to do this game live, this set live, but we will do our best to make sure it's just as exciting, honestly.
Let's just pretend it's live.
So in terms of Civ pit matchup though, we have Franks versus Aztecs, and I've said this before, but I actually feel like Franks are one of the few pretty good Civs against Mezzo, just because they have throwing Axemen for the Eagles, and Paladins, I know that Aztecs gets absolute beast monks, but Paladins, especially or even Nightline here, can use some mobility on this map a lot more, with it being even more open than it used to be. What do you think of it though?
Oh, I absolutely read my mind in terms of being able to use that mobility, and I kind of hope we really see that. I think Franks and Aztecs are both classic picks on Arabia, and for a good reason too. Personally, I would be preferring to be Franks here, but I've definitely lost as Franks versus Aztecs on Arabia, so...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think it can be really exciting if we do see some monks being used well by the Aztec player in blue, who I'm not too sure how we're going to pronounce their name, actually.
So I've been saying Yioul. It's like, it's one of those,
Yioul.
like, it's hard to... It's like a back of the throat thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But I love that in this final, this is, well, Franks vs Aztecs is classic Arabia game 1, let's go. But also, this is Aussie versus Kiwi.
I know. How crazy
Hell
is
yes.
that?
Pavlova versus fake Pavlova.
Who's the fake Pavlova?
This final will actually determine who gets to claim Pavlova.
In terms of map gen though, oh my god, we got a bit of a lame. Bulkward actually known for laming here, but it's got a 6 HP Eagle Scout. That's not happening.
Oh no, it's not gonna happen.
If I'm Yioul here, I chase it down. No, go chase the Scout down. It's 6 HP, it's a Yioul Scout.
Yeah.
It will delay Yioul's uptime a little bit, just because it might not delay his uptime, but it will delay him bringing this ball in, which could mess up the rest of his build very slightly.
Yeah, it could get messy, and let's see what he does here, whether he does go to open another sheep or whether he is just patient. I think he's going to be patient. He'll just have to wait a second or two. Oh no, he's going to... Oh, I suppose that's kind of fair, I suppose.
Isn't Founders on the sheep though? You see these two little lone
He
goats
hasn't, yeah.
that are a bit sad.
Oh, well, he's probably just assuming. Let me check his... yeah, he hasn't found them. He's probably assuming he's just not going to find them until later, so he's prioritizing getting the deer in.
I think
which
that's
is,
fine
I suppose,
here.
a good reaction. Yeah, I think it's fine here too. But I think definitely you'd be guessing the sheep would be on that hill, even though they're not. I think that's a pretty easy place to scout to find them. But got an in for putting the deer in anyway, and it's not like Bulkward has taken those sheep.
Absolutely. I think one of the things is Yioul did see the forwards Eagle Scout here, so he's probably assumed, okay, well, if I get 2 deer in, that's basically 2 sheep. My build won't suffer as a result here.
Yeah, and he has clicked up with 20 pop.
Or Bulkward actually housed at 20 pop at this point. I would have absolutely grabbed. Oh, he's already got looms. I would have probably tried DQ in the villages and see if I could go up at that point.
Yeah, I would too.
That amount of housed. We do see Bulkward heading towards these deer over here, so he's probably looking at doing some... he's either going to mill these or he's going to do some long distance
I think you've got to mill them, right? They're
At that
pretty
distance,
far away.
At that distance, I'd absolutely agree.
And they're forward as well, so I think that's risky, especially up against Franks.
Against Franks, absolutely. Like, they're one of the best scoutsters, and they have quite an easy 20 pop opening.
Yeah, and he's just clicked up now, so he can, I don't know whether, well, he hasn't even placed a mill yet, but if he is going to be placing a mill there, could go for a defensive spear, but still he is about 50% behind on getting up to feudal.
Both players finally find the last 2 goats though, so it looks like... I definitely think I prefer to be in Yioul's situation here though, even though we do have Bulkward making his militia for the men-at-arms here. Just with the way in which Yioul has that extra 2 deer here at the moment, they were taken very efficiently underneath the TC. He will be doing 20 pop scouts, which is a lot harder to counter in my opinion.
I agree.
And he's got this gold that's pretty exposed, and he's not... I mean, you don't... In this kind of Arabia, walling up excessively will hurt your economy too much. But he hasn't got many walls, which will mean that the scouts will get in pretty easily here.
Yeah, I agree. And Yioul's map is definitely preferred, in my opinion. I think the forward gold for Bulkward is pretty rough. Even though he is going for some walls now, but it's going to take a damn long time. Well, he's placed the foundations, but they are not being built yet, which is interesting. But they're not going to be up in time anyway against scouts.
Absolutely not. We do have the 3 militia forward for Bulkward though. He's actually opting to add a spear here first before going for men-at-arms upgrade, and I actually really like that.
I like it too. But we're not seeing scouts being produced from Yioul. Sorry, from...
Yeah, from Yioul.
Yeah, besides... yeah.
I'm not sure why he's not actually queuing anymore. He's got the food floating at the moment. Maybe he's just trying to react to the militia at the moment. But to react to, you do need the scouts in the field, and you don't want to be losing the scouts here.
And I think here, taking that engagement, you want to get the villagers involved.
Absolutely.
It looks like he's getting one in now, but they haven't been upgraded to men-at-arms just yet because he did get the spear in first. He has cancelled that upgrade too now, which is a good move.
Absolutely.
I definitely think that could have been a lot better for Yioul if he'd gotten the villagers involved earlier.
Bulkward to the TC, rip.
Bulkward to the TC! And look at these walls from Bulkward.
That being said, out of all the Arabia map gens I've seen since the new patch, this is probably one of the more wallable ones.
For Bulkward?
Yeah, for Bulkward. Like, this is... Like, it's just one of those maps you can have walled by at least a mid-feudal. Yioul's, on the other hand, is probably one that you'd end up walling towards late feudal, or you'd finish walling in late feudal.
Yeah. Oh, housed again for Bulkward, and here come the scouts. I definitely think they could have been there so much earlier. I know they had to deal with the militia,
but you just go
still
forwards.
Just not having the production out was a little bit rough, and now he is going to have these walls up. Yeah, tap the gate, and the scouts could go around the right side, but good move for Bulkward to have the defensive spear out there. Little bit of a pickle for Bulkward though, being housed, now having 4 villagers just admiring their handiwork on the house there. They've been there for quite some time. But he heard me now, so...
It was all you in trouble. Oh, but at least 4 scouts get in. I think they might get in, even with the 2 defensive spears. Yeah, I think Yioul just needs to jump past it. Well, we do see Bulkward trying to quick wall it. And part of the problem here is that Yioul is pathing towards the wall here, which is a little bit risky because it lets your opponent know where you are going, and look at that quick wall.
Yeah, so the scouts weren't able to do anything.
Bulkward only has 3 on food though, whereas Yioul has 13 on food and started skirmisher production.
And he is getting some big walls up as well, nice.
I feel like I prefer Yioul's walls here, just because he's had the extra time to get the walls up. He's gonna have this really nice safe main gold. He's gonna have this safe secondary stone and gold. And
he's got,
oh, he's got all of them, except for his main stone. Really.
Oh, Spear's out of position here, and really good reaction from Yioul to move the scouts back before the Spears get there. Bringing up the skirms as well, and production a little bit lacking from Bulkward for a bit.
Absolutely.
It just feels like Bulkward's a little bit flustered at the moment, just for the amount of times he's been housed, and he's not really had villagers where he wants them to be. And yeah, he is continuing his production better though.
That being said, these skirmishers don't have any upgrades on them. I don't think at the moment you need to commit to +1 defense. But it would be...
I don't think so either, but especially with that hill there too. 5 skirms on the hill, scouts coming in the back as well. This is really good for you.
Oh, absolutely. If we I feel like as long as Yioul manages to snipe the spear here, you can actually clean up these archers, and then you want to be cleaning up the archers proactively here, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
I would have actually taken that fight. You send the scouts onto the spear there. You have the skirmishers in position already, and you clean up the 5 archers and the 1 spear. There we go.
Eagle Scout being produced now for Bulkward.
So Eagle Scouts only, like in terms of feudal military, the only feudal military they do any good against realistically is skirmishers. So I think I like the addition of maybe 2 here. I wouldn't like to see too many more though, just because it will slow his uptime a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Hello Nubis, how you doing? And Squeaker,
Hi,
good to see ya. Bulk with 35 vills, Yioul315. I don't know if either player has got wheelbarrow just yet.
Yioul does have wheelbarrow. I saw that just get in, and Bulkward clicking it now as well. I love the farm at the back for Yioul behind the market.
Behind the market? I need to find
That's
that.
a dead farm.
Oh, rip.
Love it. I like Yioul's positioning here on the hill. I would like to see just patrolling it.
Yeah.
Just patrolling on the spot, just in case, because if anybody does come forward, like these archers and eagles are going to come forward now, they do want to make sure they're ready for it. And he's actually going to be moving off the hill, which with the 3 eagle scouts there, and the scouts nowhere near, is really bad.
But the good news for Yioul here is that he's got confirmation that our opponent's going to eagles. He's at least got +1 defense. So I think if I'm Yioul in a situation, yes, I'd want to go knights anyway as Franks, but this kind of gives me more confirmation that's the right thing to do here.
Yeah.
I'd like to see these skirmishers just being focus fired onto these archers at this point. There's nothing they can do here.
Absolutely.
Now, would you prefer to see Yioul go for like a 2... I mean, he already has gone for a 2 stable approach, but would you prefer to see Yioul having gone for the 2 stable approach or go for 1 and boom behind it?
I think 2 stable is the right move here. And let me just put it out there, I'm a big noob, but I think it is the right move. I mean, it's hard to tell. Like, it's easy for me to say that because I know that Bulkward hasn't clicked up yet.
Absolutely.
So this feudal army is going to get wiped by 2 stable knight production. But whether Yioul's just a beast and has somehow kept his eye on Bulkward's score, which I doubt.
Bulkward actually has the rest to click up though. I don't know why he hadn't clicked up before, but he was floating quite a substantial amount of gold. We do have Yioul going for 2 stable knights +1 attack in the queue +2 defense as well. I think what I would do here if I was Bulkward, I know he is adding TCs, but I'd actually go for forward siege in this hill. Like this hill in the middle, or this hill on the right-hand side, or even to the left-hand side. Bulkward has so many hills that are really hard to defend from. And I feel like that would be pretty game-ending in an early castle. That being said, you also lose at least 1 villager here, possibly more. Look, it's a little bit sloppy, and there's 4 knights here that I would be sending in now.
Yeah, nice that the TC is helping him out there as well, but the 4 knights need to be there now.
Then there's another 2 villagers. That's 3 villagers lost for 4 villagers lost for Yioul. And I feel like it was unnecessarily lost.
I think so too. Yeah, I think he was just a little bit ambitious there, keeping the villagers out for so long. Really nice move from Bulkward to put the archers in there, but they still will get cleaned up, which is a big shame for him just before he does hit castle. So I don't know whether that was worth it moving in there, knowing that your opponent is up to castle age and now has, what's that, 5, 6, I can count, 6, 7 knights.
The only thing I do notice is that Bulkward actually isn't adding any more army though, so I feel like he's just going to be doing a full eagle switch in the moment. But he is floating so much wood, and I'm wondering what he's planning to do it. Maybe we're going to see some monastery. He can even click imp pretty much here.
Pretty much, he's got so much res.
We do see a monastery coming down for monk defense. I actually think I would have liked to see him going for spears on the way up to the castle age here. And then go pikes. You can add monks as well to make it easier to defend choke points especially, or when they try moving into your base. But I think I'd go Pike, Monk, and Eagle here.
He's going double Monastery, going to be on 3 TCs, and he still can just click up to him if he wants to put another building down. Obviously, I don't think there's going to be much benefit to doing that, but he has got so many resources. You're sitting pretty on 3 TC as well, but his resources are being spent. Which
is good. That's really good.
Exactly. Yeah.
One issue though for Yioul is that going 2 stable knights and not finding any value. At that point you might as well have just gone 1 stable knights and straight onto the 3 TC. And you would have had constant production at that point. Especially with coming to +2 defense as well. That's a lot. Very heavy on your eco in the early castle age.
So the first monk already trying to get a conversion.
Oh, he gets 1.
And succeeding. Yeah, see, this is going to be hard. Monk defense from 2 monasteries, and the knights really can't get in. So I think he's going to have to add in something else, and I don't see that yet from Yioul.
And the problem is, if you go for Siege, well, Redemption Monks. If he goes for Skirmishers, well, Skirmishers aren't really the best unit to pressure from behind.
You just get the Eagles coming back out as soon as you make that transition to Skirms.
I'd almost like to see a castle drop on this main gold and the secondary stone. If he can, slightly outside of his, outside of his range if possible. And then using the knights to kind of flood in from that position, and then you can start adding other military units. And I think that would serve Yioul really, really well here.
Yeah, I think that's one of the few things he can do here, unless he does come forward with, I don't know, you just get some, do a little trouble and get some Frank Expo orders. Literally anything just to pick off the monks so you can get in there and do damage.
I think the big problem here, though, is if he goes for Expo here, and as Yioul's probably already guessed, we are going to see Eagles from the Aztecs. He did throw away all of his archer numbers, and there weren't any more archers kind of there at his base.
Yeah.
And going archers against Eagles, especially Frank crossbows against Eagles, is not going to be a good time.
Yeah, and he has clicked Eagle Warrior now. Forward Siege for Yioul, though, is a good move. I like where it is as well.
Absolutely. I would maybe a few tiles over. Just if I'm being nitpicky, I feel like you can pressure a little quicker and a little easier. But I'd still like the position of it. It's still kind of on a hill.
Yeah, I just like the move. I think it's what he has to do. Remind me what Sanctity does? I'm so unfamiliar with
Okay. Oh, thank you for the gifts of the little trouble, eh?
Oh, who was that?
Nuvis.
Nuvis! Bless you, Nuvis. Thank you so much.
Fervor, I believe, I'm not sure which one does which, but Fervor and Sanctity, I believe, raises the HP and the speed of your monks. So that's why these monks now have 55 HP and won't be as horrendously slow. Still no... What's it called? Oh, Redemption yet?
Yeah.
I know my monk tech, guys. I know them so well. I use monks all the time.
Well, we're seeing 8 monks from Bulkward here at the moment, and not more on the way, focusing on the Eagle Warriors now. But Mangonel coming out. Gold and stone upgrades for Bulkward as well. But 22 knights for Yioul is quite nice.
The thing is here, though, I still feel like Yioul could have been setting forward. Oh, here we go, finally. He had the stone for a little bit longer, and where has he placed? Yes. Maybe I place it a couple more tiles forward if I'm going to be a little bit nitpicky, or I place it on the hill.
I agree.
But I still think this is a good position to be in. That being said, these conversions on these knights is going to be huge.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh god.
And he's going to get more. Well, that's the thing. Stop chasing the knights. Stop chasing. Just send your knights back.
Yeah. So, do Franks get Heresy?
I actually don't know. I don't even know if it'd be worth going for Heresy. Because the thing is, Heresy, even if you're forced to go Heresy, it's still damage being done to your eco. That's the equivalent of 10 monks just being plunged into upgrades. That being said, Yioul might actually be able to snipe these monks if they are out of position, and they're out of position.
Oh, go for it, Yioul.
Oh, I don't think you can see it though. Yeah, you can't see the monks just yet.
Oh, it's such a shame.
And the Eagles are just going to eat these knights, and the converted knights are also going to help a lot here as well. This is a pretty game-ending fight, honestly. I think Yioul's going to win the initial part.
But he's losing his army to the conversions.
Oh, but you're adding the light cavalry pretty early here, and the castle's gonna go up. Bulkward's gonna lose all of these, and as long as you're garrisons, how many has he got left? Oh my god, look at all those conversions. Seriously, I can't tell if it ends up being worth it.
Ugh.
I feel like
that was rough.
The thing is though, that's all of Bulkward's military to Yioul's but like Yioul did lose quite a bit of military, but he still has a lot more. And he's going for a second castle here.
And that's a good spot for that castle to be. The ram is awesome as well. Bulkward putting up stone walls at the back.
They will buy him some time, admittedly, but
Shadow, look at his resources.
An imp is clicked for Bulkward. And he's got enough for a castle, so castle and stone wall defense should theoretically hold against this. But you also clicked up to the Imperial Age.
Yeah, I think he definitely does need to get that castle up. Because he will have, Bulkward will have the, there it is, slight imp advantage. But he's gonna have to get more military out. I think he does need to stick with the monks as well. But it is so tricky because Yioul is now making light cav out of 3 stables, could be 4.
And I really would like to see Bulkward actually adding some pikes here as well. When you see your opponents on full cavalry like this, pike and eagle here would do really well.
Yeah.
But this fight is really bad for Yioul, actually.
I think he was definitely expecting that to go a lot better than what it did.
Absolutely.
That was a bit of a throw. But 2 castles here is going to be really good for him if he can keep his trebs safe.
Hello there, and Gluttony, good to see you guys.
Tony, Liam.
It's more like, ugh, it's Liam.
Ugh, it's Liam.
There we go.
So 2 rams out, no more siege just yet, but light cav, knights. So really full pikes with the eagles in as well from Aztec player could be really good.
I would almost like to see...
those...
Oh, sorry, continue.
Well, keeping the eagle numbers can be really, really important because there's only some measly little palisades keeping you all safe at home. So an eagle raid could just be game ending.
That's really true. Kind of like to see... I don't know if it's throwing Axeman's the play or if champions what's needed here. It's still kind of awkward going champion against monks either way, or throwing Axeman indeed. But I feel like you need something that's going to counter Bulkward's next move, and that's going to be mostly eagles and monks here. The monks are just so hard to counter from the Aztec player though. Maybe light cover and throwing Axeman is the play. I've never used that unit combination before, but...
Yeah, neither. I think that was another bad move from Yioul, sending the cavalry in there just... I don't know whether he was expecting to successfully deny that castle, but it was a bit unnecessary.
But one of the good things here for Yioul now is that the eagles are at the back, the back of Bulkward's base rather than forward trying to snipe traps or going forward to hit Yioul's base.
Yeah, if that was a planned distraction, that was pretty genius. So it's basically castle war here at the moment, which is really interesting, but the eagles can be so damaging to Yioul here at the moment if they do get in and snipe the trebs, and there's really nothing to save those trebs.
Yep, easy snipe for Bulkward, and these castles don't even have fletching. It's so worth getting fletching on your castles when you're going for more than, especially if you're going for more than 1.
Yeah.
And you can see that first castle going down, but you're still on 2 castles. But the eagles are just going to be able to keep sniping them, especially with no cavalier on these knights just yet.
Yeah, cavalier is going to be in soon, and he is still producing from 4 stables. But 4 barracks, eagles, we're not really seeing more knights, more monks, which is expected with the light cav on the field. But yes, it looks like the second castle from Yioul will go down. Eagles coming in to eat another treb. Cavalry out of position.
Oh no, he's just going to go for a dive. I actually don't hate the dive if you can get the trebs. If you can get these trebs...
Yeah, get the trebs and this could be really worth it.
Yep, 1 treb, 2, probably going to be 3 trebs going down for Bulkward. Although Bulkward's still managing to snipe more trebs than Yioul in this fight so far.
And it's just always better trades for Bulkward. Villager numbers in favor of Yioul, military as well. And he is forward and he hasn't been touched at home. So I think he is still slightly in the better position maybe, especially because he does still have one castle up here.
But he doesn't have any more trebs in the queue, and I think that's a really big mistake when you've already been pressuring your opponent like this. I feel like Yioul needs to keep the pressure up, he needs to keep sending siege in here. He did just click Paladin though, and
Paladin!
that's gonna... Garland Wars Eagles against Paladin is not a good trade. Pikes are going to be mixed in, but Garland Wars Pikes really just don't cut it against Paladin, especially if you haven't got a mass of them.
Yeah. I'm glad to see the Pikes finally coming in. I'm excited to see Paladin in a 1v1, but this might be the eco raid that I was hoping to see for Bulkward. If he's going to go in, maybe he's just trying to secure this hill.
Would you have Yioul with a couple of villagers in Bulkward's base?
Yeah, I would look at that. Like, just the TC gather point is not in the right spot. Let me find where it is. Surely that's got to be it.
This could be a disaster raid for Yioul though.
It is. I love that he hasn't actually overchopped, and there's no holes in his wall, which is quite impressive considering how much is going on. There will definitely soon be holes in the walls very quickly, but it is the top left TC of Yioul that is the gather point is set into the back of Bulkward's face, which is hilarious. And here come the Cavalier. Paladin they will soon be. So let's really hope for Bulkward's case that he does do a lot of damage with this raid.
I think he's going to do quite a bit. That's the thing. We don't see Yioul reacting quick enough to this Eagle raid. He has got a lot more villagers to lose, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, he doesn't have any way to react to it, really. There's no, TCs are full. There's no defensive castle or anything to help the villies out. But he is going to be sending the Eagles back out of his base, which is nice. And you're right, he does have more vills to lose. Villager numbers are now slightly in Bulkward's favor. So he lost, I don't know.
That's like 30 villagers.
Yeah, 20, 30. And mind you, he's kind of throwing a few away himself with that gather point. But look at the villagers coming forward now from Bulkward. They are putting up an outpost, maybe securing some res on the side. But it might be Bulkward's move. Put some forward aggression on. Gosh, those Paladin are beautiful.
A military count now 46 to 38 in favor of Yioul. The only thing here is that now there's enough pikes to really deal with the Paladin here. We do see them getting some really nice engagements on the Paladin trying to snipe the trap.
We're not seeing any counter to the pikes.
Oh, but do you know what counters pikes? Counter raids.
Counter raids, counter pikes.
Exactly. And the Paladin gonna get in. No, that quick wall.
That was a really good move from Bulkward to deny them getting in.
And that's hard to do. Let's not underestimate like the amount of pressure that he'd be under to keep that hole closed.
Yeah. Say from 23 Paladin getting in. So Shadow, if this was you, if you're Yioul, what would you be doing to counter the pikes?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Don't have any castles. I don't think siege is an option because eagles can just way too quickly snipe scorpions, for example.
I definitely wouldn't go scorpions. Scorpions, I feel like would be an absolute disaster here.
Yeah.
I think you have to go champions here. I know that Aztecs and Tech, their own champions are better.
Paladins. Oh, don't fight that.
Thing is, like, even though Yioul didn't lose many Paladin there, it's all about that HP, and the more that he's losing here, the more that Paladin investment hasn't paid off here.
It's just not a good trade. Like, yes, some of them survive, but you're trading Paladin against Pikemen.
I feel like Yioul had a really position. I feel like he might be throwing this at this stage.
Yeah, I just feel that now he's the one that's a little bit flustered and doesn't really have a counter to the pikes and doesn't really have his forward push anymore. And I don't know, he hasn't been producing villages either.
That being said, Bulkward's lost quite a few villages here, and the TC is on the siege, but now the Paladin do need to run away from these pikes, otherwise they're gonna get poked into oblivion.
No, that's good that he did react to that. And nice that he has found the TC over there as well. I feel like there's just not much on the field. Like, there's not much siege from Yioul. Well, there's no siege from Yioul. He is now taking into champ line, militia line, whatever we decide to call it.
I was just gonna say, I do think Yioul could still be adding skirms here. It kind of just forces your opponent to add more eagles, just to deal with the skirms alone. And you do generally want to have your trash upgrades teched earlier in the Imperial Age, so you just have numbers on the field.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I think there just needs to be something besides just full paladin, which are going to be eaten up by the freaking 49 pikes that I see moving down the south.
And the thing is, Yioul can't even react to. I guess say that these pikes even go to raid here. What does Yioul do? He's forced to take a fight with the paladin and then loses them all.
Exactly, and again, he still doesn't have any defenses at home. Oh, the paladin can't fight this many. I mean, it could be a good thing that they're all down here stabbing at stables. Maybe these paladin could get in and do some raiding while they are out of the way. But it's all just about positioning, and at the moment I can understand if Yioul doesn't really know where he needs to be.
Oh, and the one cheeky monk almost getting sniped now getting sniped for the pikes.
Oh no,
instead.
getting sniped. Cheeky, brave little monk.
And you can see his longswordsmen are just dying horrendously here. Give me 1 second, guys. I just need to close a couple more tabs. This slide's showing a little bit.
Oh, he's taking this fight. It's not good. Oh, now he's running. At least take the hill if you have to fight it, which is what he's gonna do. Gonna take the hill, but still, this is not a good trade. He's gonna lose all his paladin here.
I feel like this is game over.
It has to be GG. He doesn't have the long swordsman numbers. He lost all his army. Military number now 60 for Bulkward. 9, 8, 7 for Yioul. This has got to be game, right?
That's rip. That's the thing with the paladin. It's all about that power spike with paladin. You have to use the paladin when you get it to then attack your opponent. But with Bulkward, with that counter raid, force the paladin back instead. And GG is called.
GG. That was a spicy game.
Absolutely.
That was really good from start to finish. And I think Bulkward just made the absolute right move. You see, you've got a Frank opponent who's teched into paladin and is committed to it. You just go pike and you're Gucci.
And the thing is, Yioul didn't really make, like, the only units he made that game were cavalry, some skirmishers in feudal age, and a couple of mangonels, a couple of rams, a couple of trebs. But the thing is, all of that is countered by pike eagle. Like, there's not a single like, there's nothing that Yioul didn't combine any of his units there, and I think that was a huge mistake on his part.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was just not stubborn per se, but really just sticking to the Frank, tried and trusted Frank cavalry is awesome. Let's do it. And it just felt like he was a little bit stubborn, not using any other units to deal with what Aztecs can put forward.
Absolutely. A little bit. I think that Yioul has been playing a little bit better than that, in that game. Like, you saw that his macro behind his castle age was pretty good. Like, he wasn't floating many resources for much of the game.
I think his macro was quite better from what we saw from Bulkward, honestly.
Absolutely.
Especially early game, to be honest. Like, feudal age, just from what I saw of Bulkward's economy control, and I think that did pay off for Yioul through the game, but like, look at Bulkward's resources at the moment compared to Yioul. Like, Yioul is out of gold, unfortunately for him.
Sorry, Ashley, start up the next game, ready to go.
Oh, sorry, I'm still so invested in this one. But basically, Yioul he's spending his res. Let's just say that. Yeah. And Bulkward has banked almost 4k wood, almost 4.5k food, over 2k gold. And he's got so many resources. Like, imagine if he just puts another freaking 10 barracks out and he can,
But I feel like in that situation, it probably shouldn't have done, but I feel like it almost did pay off for Bulkward, having the extra res banked.
Yeah, definitely. But it just goes to show, how much more he could have done as well. And just sticking with pikes really is...
No, I'm not moving. It's so silly. Oh, dear. I've loaded in 10 seconds into game 2 on Golden Pits.
Okay, I will load it up. So, meaning that Golden Pit is Yioul's home map?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do also have, if you wanted to double check, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, in the Discord there is the draft. Probably should have mentioned that myself as well on stream.
It's fine. Okay, Golden Pit, and oh god, my eyeballs, I don't have the no snow mod installed.
You don't like the snow?
It's so bright. Do
I
you
love
it?
like it.
What?
I love the snow, I love the ice, this is my favorite version of Golden Pit.
Light mode or something on your applications?
You know, with the exception of Discord, I do, just to upset everyone else's eyes when they see my Twitch.
Well, I'll forgive you in this case.
Unpause
but I'm at 10 seconds.
In 3, 2, 1, go. Britons versus Vietnamese, and if there's a civ that does pretty decently against Britons, it's Vietnamese.
I love this matchup, honestly.
It's one of the few times that I get some revenge against Britons.
Yeah, which you're always going to be happy about, aren't you?
Absolutely.
So...
I feel like in Feudal Age, this is where the Vietnamese really do get to shine. Just the extra HP on the archers does generally make up for the Briton archers producing faster. And in terms of late game options, Imperial skirmishers, even mixing them in with your own Arbalest or Rattan archers even, are just such insane counters to archers that you almost don't want to have to go archers on Britons, but that's your best unit.
Yeah, you kind of have to, right? But yeah, I think Vietnamese are an awesome counter for Britons. I'd love to see Imp Skirms. I think they're such an underrated unit, to be honest. I get excited whenever I see them. They're so cool. But I also think Vietnamese as a pick on Golden Pit is awesome as well, just for knowing where their TC is.
True, actually.
I think that has such an advantage. Perhaps more so in team games, you would say, but I still think it gives a lot of value in a 1v1.
And also, Bulkward bringing his scalpel, he's gonna steal these sheep.
Yes! Take those sheep! Take them from Britons!
And Bulkward knows, Bulkward knows that he's against Britons here. So yeah. I would kind of expect a lame, honestly. And Bulkward is known for laming in general. But having that extra boar and extra 2 sheep here, I feel like that would be huge for Bulkward here.
I think so too, and I just love that it's been taken from Britons.
Not playing favourites, but also...
No, not playing favourites. Not for players, maybe for civs.
I always thought that was tilted by Britons most.
I have to say, I love that you can say for Bulkward that they're known for laming. That is quite amazing.
It's one of those things that each player kind of has their own little bit of profile here. Hammer Time's known for laming, Phaley's known for his insane lames. Bulkward's known for laming. I'm trying to think who else has been. Highflyer, until last week when he was knocked out in the semi-finals, did quite a few lames as well, so...
So many lamers! Oh no, Yioul just missing finding his sheep, so he only had 4 sheep, because 2 of them got lamed, and he hasn't found his last 2, and he's Briton, so he's Briton's down 4 sheep. That's really unfortunate. And
where are those 2 sheep? I can't even see
they're
myself.
down south, and his scout just missed them. Like, if you look at the Fog of War,
he was that's
2
unfortunate.
tiles away from finding them.
That's so
that is
unfortunate.
really, really rough.
Hello, so PPC.
PPC! He's probably not feeling too good about the start of the game because of that.
And it's already not a good matchup.
Yeah, exactly. So we have forward berries for our Vietnamese player. But everything else, I mean, it is Golden Pit, but his other res are pretty decently placed. I think for Yioul as well, we could say the same thing.
Actually, quite surprising for Golden Pit. Usually, from the Golden Pit map gens I've been seeing, one of the golds is touching the pit. One of the stones is touching the pit, and the other 2 golds and stones are exposed, almost part of the wall exposed. So it's actually pretty nice map gens from both players.
Yeah, I agree.
Bulkward still hasn't found his last 2 sheep, but he does have 2 extras from the Britons, so he won't be worrying too much.
Yeah. Oh boy. So Barracks going up for our Vietnamese player at 20 pop.
And Barracks also going up for Yioul at 20 pop as well, so I think we're both players going for men-at-arms archers here.
Nice. Some sheep being found with Bulkward on the side, which is nice. Extra food.
Oh, he's gonna find the last 2 as well, so that's gonna be his last 4 sheep he's gonna find.
9, number 9 and number 10 sheep. Oh, not the most efficient on the deer, I have to say, if I'm going to be critical, but good on Yioul for pushing them in at least.
Absolutely.
He's down 4 sheep.
And that does recover a little bit of that damage, and you're actually making militia here, so we'll be going for a drush instead.
Yeah,
I don't really like it just because of how late the drush is going to be coming in. But Bulkward going for his own drush. I feel like this is a really late drush from both players.
It's really awkward for Yioul though, because he does not know where Bulkward is. He's got no clue, and he's sending his scout out now because he's like, oh, bloody hell, my militia are here, and I don't know where I need to send them. But his scout did just see a militia moving forward. He has reacted to it, so he spotted that at least. We're going to see some clubs being bashed in the pit.
They're
just going to walk past each other.
Golden
Now,
war
there it
pit.
is.
Oh, and you're taking a really bad trade here.
Really, really bad trade. Oh, that is rough.
He gets
Nice
one
work from
militia,
Bulkward.
but Yioul's gonna lose at least. Well, he's gonna lose at least his. Yeah, he's gonna lose everything.
That's very rough. Save the scout. Nice.
And
Oh, save the scout.
Oh no! What's he doing? Oh no! Bulkward
That's
could
so
have had the scout.
unnecessary. Yeah, so unnecessary, but his focus must have just been elsewhere. He is trying to put some walls up at the same time. But at least the good news for Bulkward is he has already scouted quite well.
And also,
No, disregard, he hasn't actually.
And also, I feel like on Golden Pit, like, the most important thing for your scout isn't necessarily the scouting of your own base. It's your scouting of your opponent's base, and it's also the scouting of what your opponent's going to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think that losing his scout there where it's so unnecessary hurts quite a lot, because he doesn't have any intel.
He does have this one militia he can use to get that rest of that information though, whereas Yioul has nothing. So I definitely prefer to be in Bulkward's shoes right now.
Yeah, 100%. And he has clicked up to feudal age, which is nice. Yioul on his way up now as well.
Bulkward doing a 27 villager up and Yioul doing a 28 villager up. Be interesting to see what both players can go for. Obviously both players kind of converting this into a Drush FC. But if I'm Britain's here, do I go Siege? And I feel like Pike's Siege push could actually be pretty good in Castle Age here.
Why Pikes?
Just because one of the main ways you can counter with any civ is with cavalry, so you'd have the Pikes just as a meat shield essentially. And also Vietnamese get pretty damn good elephants as well. They also get really good cavalry.
Okay, well that'll be really interesting then if we do see Bulkward forced into some cavalry, if we do see Pike Siege from Britain player.
I actually wouldn't hate to see, I really would like to see Yioul go for like a kind of Pike Siege all in here. I feel like if he lets this go to Imp, there's just nothing Britons can do against many of the combos, like Rattan, BBC, deal with pretty much everything Britons can send, in my opinion.
Very sad to announce that Bulkward's hero militia was just killed by the TC.
Rip. Losing it to the TC. Everyone say a silent prayer.
Yeah. So I see a blacksmith, I see a range from Britain player. I see a range also from Vietnamese.
I see a blacksmith.
You do or don't?
Oh, it's at the other edge of the map, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you've got to prefer to be in Bulkward's shoes here. Drush FC crossbow with the extra HP on your arch is definitely more comfortable for the Vietnamese in the situation, even though the Britons do produce a little bit faster.
Yeah, I agree. I still favor Vietnamese, if that's what we're going to be seeing from both players. Bulkward's going to have walls up. I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe Yioul can get them up in time, but it's still going to be a little bit more difficult for him to do so.
The Yioul up to the castle is just a little bit before Bulkward there. I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought that based on their feudal up times, Bulkward would be up a little bit after Yioul there.
Hmm.
I just lacked a little bit of food by the looks of things.
Yeah. So, fully walled for our Vietnamese player. kind of like. Oh no! Oh, I was gonna really praise Yioul for walling around the relic so he can get it, but never mind. He didn't wall around the relic down south. But that's okay. The walls will be up in time.
Bulkward really heavy on stone here, and I love this play from Bulkward here. I feel like this is. I feel like actually something interesting for Yioul as well is that one of the few options I feel like he could go for as Britons here might even be longbows. Now, Rattans are particularly amazing against archer units, but longbows have that ridiculous range.
It could be really interesting. It would be a lot of, like, you'd have to be really micro-focused to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, it'd just be a bit of a throw, but it would be an option.
We almost get the longbows for the BBC and the onagers, and you get and then you have your own onagers or something to deal with the archers. It kind of switches the roles of both unit types.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's the play here, though, honestly. I don't really know what I would do if I was Britain to the situation. Maybe some Britain cavalry all in.
Yeah, honestly, I'd consider it, right? Because, I mean, he's sending these 4 archers forward. He needs to do that at least to get some scouting intel, but we do see Expo being clicked now, but he's only got 4 archers forward, more being sent one at a time, but I just don't see this being much of a threat to Bulkward at all. He is going to be placing a castle.
Oh, that's a bit risky with the castle. If Yioul had the crossbows in the right position and got Bodkin arrow, I could actually be denied, or at least you could take a lot more eco damage than you'd need to take.
Yeah, I think so too, but I also can understand why he did just commit to placing that down. I think it is pretty necessary.
I also don't love the positioning on it though, because it doesn't really protect. It only protects his TC.
Yeah, it was a bit of a panic castle, wasn't it?
I mean, it does give him access towards the pit, which is one of the other important parts of this. But almost prefer it to be near the secondary stone or.
Yeah, just something. And especially if these 4 threatening Expo are going to break in on the right-hand side. It's a good thing the Rattans are being produced immediately, but yeah, it was interesting.
The Rattans with the 4 pierce armor will take almost no damage from these. You don't want to be sending them in 1 by 1 though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because that'd be 5 shots from those 4 Expo to take out 1. I'm going to say like Rattan. I say Rattan, but I like Yioul much better.
But Yioul on 3 TC adding a defensive siege workshop, I really like this from Yioul.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's kind of good to be a little bit safe in this position. I think he's definitely going to have an eco lead by the looks of things, with Bulkward just remaining on the 1 TC.
I feel like this. I'm going to say again, I actually think I would like to see Britain longbows here, but Britain boom into longbows. I think that could be a really interesting line of play that I don't think I've ever seen work.
I think boom is definitely the right move here, to be honest. Just, yeah, defensive siege, just boom up. He's going to have such an eco lead. Because, yes, Bulkward is producing Rattans from the 1 castle, but that's about all he can really do, and he doesn't have the resources to go forward with siege. I don't think he's going to be able to do much damage, so really he's just kind of putting himself on the back foot.
And the issue with the castle as well is it's not just the constant production on it, is it? It's the fact that to get there you have to put 650 stone into it as well.
Yeah, I think he had 8 villages on stone as he was going up to castle. So the Rattans will be coming back to try and deal with these Expo. I really like that Yioul is just being aggressive. There's only, what, 7 of them? But...
And the thing is, it's getting the scouting information with them more importantly than anything else here. And now Yioul can see these archers. I think Rattans can actually move faster though. They will technically be able to chase these archers down.
They could have split the Rattans as well. Send half the group down to the left instead of just chasing them directly. But I think they're definitely going to be cleaned up. But I'm still not too worried for Yioul, honestly. I think just being on 3 TCs is a really, really good move, and it's going to pay off for him in the end.
It's so strange to see archers trying to get closer to enemy units to kill them, isn't it? But is that one less range on Rattan archers in Castle Age?
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think range could be really important here for Yioul.
But it's like, literally the only... I feel like that's the only advantage Britain archers can even remotely have in this situation. Now, Bulkward actually, I personally have seen him in quite a few games with these Rattan archers. He actually can micro them relatively well.
Right.
And that could be a little bit of a problem for Yioul, even with these mangonels.
It'll be interesting to see how much siege he commits to. And at what point either player goes into the middle. I do see Yioul putting up outposts in the middle just to at least, have that scouting intel, whether he's planning on moving in himself, but at least to know what his opponent is doing. Because with these Rattans on the field, he can't move out and he can't get that scouting otherwise. See a university coming up now for Bulkward.
And the thing is, if this goes to a trash war again, Vietnamese are favoured. If it goes to full gold army, it's one of those situations where Britons, I don't feel like, have that great of a time either. Mangonel's engaging here, but they're just, look at this. Oh, 4 Rattans going down. I think it's the hill here.
I think the hill is great though, yeah, definitely. And I think it's good for Bulkward to move back and not take that. Even if his micro is super fancy and super impressive, it's not worth the risk of losing those Rattans.
It'll be interesting to see where Bulkward places his second castle, especially based on his first castle's position. I'd like to see it actually going towards the middle.
Double, oh, never mind. I got really excited. Ooh, we see 2 stables though. Yeah.
If you're doing cavalry on Britons, I feel like this is too late. Maybe just me?
I feel like, no, I can see why he's going for it now, honestly.
Okay.
And I just have this vision, Shadow. I've seen like this just sick Britain boom, just staying safe at home, coming out with like a redonkulous amount of surprise cavalry and just cleaning Bulkward up.
The thing is though, it's just, it's so, like, going for, I'm guessing Cavaliers to play here. I wouldn't assume he would be going light cavalry. Cavalry are so expensive and there's not much gold on this map.
That is true. He's doing quadruple stable. He's gonna need gold though. And that castle is right smack bang in the middle.
We'll be able to get his own castle though, and he's going for it on this secondary stone. Quite like it, although I would like to see it closer towards the pit so he can.
I agree.
Obviously, he doesn't have the scouting information of this castle just yet, but it's one of those things where you generally do place that castle towards the pit so you can take that hill advantage with your own trebs.
He does have that scouting now that the castle's attacking the house there. He does know it's there. I would have liked to see Yioul's castle just delete a couple of the palisades in front of the stone, place it there.
We see light cavalry, and I think we're gonna see full light cavalry. I
think
don't
that's
know
the
if I
right
like
move.
it.
Well, I think you've got to, not having control of the middle just yet, not having enough gold to do anything else.
He
has clicked up to amp.
24, about 3,000 gold in this base though, so it's not like a situation where he doesn't have gold. This is going to be long-term gold access. That's the problem.
Yeah, that makes me kind of hope that my my vision will play out. Just seeing so like Lightcav banked up at home and just releasing it all at once. He's going 5 stable. Oh, he's making. I see a knight.
So I think he will be going Cavalier here, and I just worry that's going to be too expensive. But maybe light cavalry and knight mix here could work. Honestly, if you get enough numbers up.
And Bulkward now clicked imp as well. I really like the play from Britons at the moment. I think he's done the right move, and Bulkward hasn't really anticipated that happening. He hasn't scouted it happening, of course.
I would probably do cavalry and skirmisher at least, though. I feel like just going cavalry is a bit too greedy.
Yeah, that's a good point. And he's not, from what I can see at the moment, committing to more siege. Trebs are coming out, and this is what I wanted to ask you. On Golden Pit, I'm actually terrified of this map, I'll admit. Because I feel like when I go to the middle first, I'm always punished for it.
I think it like so. I think the way Bulkward's done it here, like I'm not sure about the positioning on the castles, but placing a first castle at home and then the second one in the middle gives you so much room to. I'm not gonna say throw, but it gives you so much room to kind of like to fall back essentially. And then if your opponent goes for that castle in the wall, you've got your castle on the hill, so you can start pressuring their castle back.
Yeah.
But I like the way that Yioul has, Bulkward has actually gone into the middle. But I do know what you're saying about it always being quite. Oh, look at those mangonel shots! Value.
Serious value. I was just gonna criticize Yioul for going in there just then. I was like, oh, you haven't got the numbers picked yet. But with that mango hit, cleaned up military difference now 6 for Bulkward, 12 for Yioul. Villager difference is massive, of course, the 3 TC difference. 64 for Bulkward compared to 101. Bulkward now hitting imp, but that was
disastrous for Bulkward. I mean, he's still got a lot of res banked. And he's getting elite return, but he's got none to upgrade, and he's got his secondary castle in the middle. I feel like he actually might be screwed here. I feel like he needs to go into Arb here.
He needs to do something. The thing I still didn't like about Yioul's move just there was revealing the cav so early. But I mean, it paid off for him in the end. And these 3 trebs now going to take out this other castle. So this is what I feel like whenever you're first in the pit, you're just often gonna be punished for it.
But I don't think it was being first in the pit that was a problem there. It was the fact that the mangonel's got those huge shots in there.
Yeah.
I feel like there was no need for Bulkward to take that fight.
Yeah, that's a good point. There really wasn't.
And he's gonna lose that second castle. He's gonna lose a TC in the middle as well. And then Yioul's in the best case scenario here. Vietnamese on a full trash essentially.
Ooh, that would have been a
him
really
on full
good
gold. Oh, but did all the bills go down? Every single bill died for that country.
Yeah. So I like seeing so many Britain trebs.
And the weird thing is that the Wolf trebs could actually be one of the saving graces here. To deal with Imp Skirm, they can deal with Rattan Archers to an extent as well.
Oh, bang, bang, bang on the TC. And I don't know if I like that move for Bulkward to put the castle behind the TC. It's only going to be trebbed down immediately.
I very much dislike where does Yioul see it. Yioul doesn't see it currently, but it will be a matter of time before he does see it. And this castle's still going up for Yioul. Maybe he forgot about it, but he does need to get the castle up so he does have the extra treb production. I feel like that's the siege is the only thing currently keeping him in this game. And he's going to see the castle.
Yeah, so let's hope we see a reaction, see the trebs moving, which is exactly what I wanted.
And the light cavalry raiding.
Oh, they got in, perfect. Oh, avoid that TC, go up the back and you can do so much damage.
And you can't vil fight, even Britain light cavalry, you don't mean vil fighting that. And that amount of idle time is huge.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing here. It's just 2 light cap. Well, it was 4, now it's 2, but they're already doing so much damage just by the idle time. We have some pikes coming out, which you're gonna need, really, when your Britain opponent is full cavalry.
But just imagine if Yioul had some skirmishes behind this. I know his economy was a little bit stretched for a little bit. But I feel like if he had some skirms behind this, and he could have the skirms sitting on the trebs here, the light cavalry would be able to deal with, or kind of be a bit of a meat shield. I feel like he'd be in a really good position. But he's already kind of cleaned Bulkward off of the middle. And whilst Vietnamese do have amazing trash, you still don't want to be trash against gold. Fantastic. Oh my god, salted.
I love Bulkward's commitment there. Like his TC just got trebbed down, then his back castle just got trebbed down, but still he placed a mining camp like forward and just immediately got trebbed down as well. So I think this is fine. He's got 17 vills. This is Bulkward, 17 vills on the stone and the gold there, and he can get away with it because Yioul just doesn't really have the numbers in the middle. We do see some skirms now. He's just committing to the raiding of the eco.
With this number of light cavalry, I'd actually send them onto this area, like, where all these villages are. We do see him taking skirmishes here, and the skirmishes deal with everything Bulkward is currently sending.
Yeah.
And with the light cavalry here and I'd say the skirmishers here in the middle, like I feel like Bulkward should theoretically be dead now. Even with yeah, it's just 60 villagers to 129.
30. I have to agree. I think he is pretty out of it. The score says the same thing, and this light cavalry is going to do so much damage, sending the pikes back to try and deal with it. But it's kind of like the damage is already done. He's done 56 fills. He's still got some returns in the middle, but the skirms are... If the skirms aren't sent in one by one, they can clean it up too.
And Bulkward also having, at one point, 0 on wood and only 29 in the bank, so... Like, that's pretty much the worst case scenario that can happen when you're getting raided, is that you get bottlenecked off of one particular resource.
Mm.
Hello, Worsty, Slade, King Joffrey, and Lohab, good to see you guys.
Hi, everybody! I'd love to see these trebs that are just hanging out in the middle go up and try and deal with some of those castles at home.
I do like that Bulkward is making that third castle on this hill, though.
It's a much better spot than his last attempt, yeah.
Especially because he has been forced up the middle so heavily, and I don't like that Yioul's being quite passive here, in my opinion. I know he's getting Onager in the queue, getting chemistry as well, but I feel like once you're in that kind of position, you want to keep pressuring your opponent off of this middle gold. Because even the few hundred gold could be what changes the game if you're Bulkward.
He's gonna trip the pikes.
Oh.
Look at this! Yes! Splat! Let's go! Yes!
Did he get... I don't think he got Wolf though.
I haven't seen it come through. I might have missed it, but I don't think he has it either, but still. It's still pretty great. And it's forcing them to engage with all the skirms behind. This is great for Yioul. This is perfect. So it's cleaning up the pikes. He's gonna have full numbers of skirms to deal with the returns as well. He just really needs to deal with the defenses at Bulkward's base.
And the thing is, even up a hill with this number of and 4 trebs isn't that many. I feel with the number of trebs Yioul could have had, that isn't an issue at all.
Yeah.
I would have probably had 6 to 8 trebs by now, especially as Britons, and I would have had Wolf as well.
Yeah. I think that could be the final blow. Awesome to see Yioul putting outposts up. But it is really tricky for Bulkward just not having any gold production income. He is quite low on resources. Another castle going up in the middle for Yioul, who is quite happy with resources, except for wood maybe, but it looks like he's relocating a bit of his eco now.
Oh, on a shot! Not gonna hit. It's just that speed. That's the thing here. And the skirmishers aren't really in position just yet, but there is 4 trebs to 1. And even with that downhill advantage, the castle probably will survive here.
We are seeing Cavalier just being clicked as well. So we've got our production, Cavalier, Onager. He's not still producing the skirms, but it's all of that compared to Bulkward, who can only make returns from 2 castles at the moment.
He just ran out of gold as well, so...
This is going to be the end.
I don't think he's teched into his trash units either.
No, that's the thing. He hasn't really teched into anything. He's not producing anything at the moment.
10 Pierce armor though, absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, look at... I mean, the hill helped him a lot there, but I still think well and truly favouring Yioul's position. But it kind of seems like Yioul has slacked on the production a little bit, and the returns are actually going to take out the trebs. Like,
very. The thing is, he got bottlenecked off of wood again, and he hasn't really sorted out his wood economy just yet.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's 4 stables going up for our Vietnamese player.
But with what eco? He's only got 27 on food, 9 on gold, so he has to sell res to get to the light cavalry.
Yeah.
This is a full Hail Mary. Like, if he manages to do anything with these stables, I'll be amazed. Hello, True Tooth. How you doing?
So the old Imperial Scout Cavalry.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it happen. GG.
I'm actually surprised Yioul won that one, because I was saying, as we were saying earlier, like Vietnamese are one of the better picks against Britons.
I'm really surprised. Yeah.
Hello, Renaissance. How you doing?
Look at the outposts. Wow.
Have a look at these stats as well. Bulkward actually took some really good trades there, but it was about all that trash being sent in, and Yioul taking some really cost-effective trades. It didn't matter how much trash you used to get rid of all those returns. And the return shots at that kind of late Castle Age, early Imperial Age were definitely what I think won Yioul the game at the end.
I think so too. Yeah, that was massive.
Like, you can just see, just before Bulkward hits Imp, that huge drop of an army, and that's rough.
But also just been on, for Bulkward, just been on 1TC for a major part of that game. Just really, I think he would have been able to hold on a lot longer if he had more of an eco. I know that sounds obvious, but just when, like, he must have realized at some point with the defensive siege at Yioul's base, he couldn't really do damage with his returns. And I think there needed to be some decision made to be like, okay, well, this might be going late game, and I'm Vietnamese, I should be able to deal with Britons.
Absolutely agreed.
So I need to kind of catch up, but it just never happened. And yeah, in the end, I mean, he was out of resources, he couldn't produce, he couldn't deal with skirmishes.
You know, it's a bit rough when you can't deal with skirmishes.
Yeah.
We do have game 3 on islands though, Vikings versus Italians.
I have them all. Let me open it up.
Get some water.
Some water. Vikings, Italians on islands. Hell yeah.
Are you at 10 seconds?
No, I'll tell you when I am. Yep.
Okay, unpause in 3, 2, 1. Now, Italians are pretty much the meta pick for islands. I don't think there's any other civ that is picked as often on islands, and there's so many reasons for it. They get the cheaper up, they have cheaper dock techs, they have a solid fire galley opening because it's faster than most other civs. They have a solid galley transition as well. It's just all around one of the best island civs you can possibly go for. But Vikings are one of those kind of like off meta picks that can be really, really strong if you can get away with picking them.
Yeah, I think Vikings is kind of like a typical islands pick, but not so, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I wouldn't think so much in 1v1s. Like, team games, definitely. You'd be bamboozled to find an islands team game that doesn't have a Vikings player,
Absolutely.
right? But I'm kind of a little skeptical about how that's going to play out in a 1v1, especially up against Italians, because you're right, they are wonderful for so many reasons. So I am really wondering what Bulkward's going to do with Vikings.
I feel like if you can, someone was mentioning this the other day as well, and it's harder to pincer on islands with the fire ships where you can kind of surround the galleys. We often do see Vikings just opening straight galleys, going for 2 to 3 docks in early feudal age. Just kind of withstanding the pressure, and then getting a couple demos out to really help snowball into a lead. Honestly, I feel like Vikings is pretty good on islands. I feel like civs like Italians definitely shine more on water maps, like Baltic rather than islands and team islands. Interesting, Salted. I just feel like it's so risky getting into, like, if you lose early feudal from the fires, it is a little bit more concerning. That being said, on Baltic and Medi is a little more one-dimensional where there's one area of water to hit.
I think it could really come down to who's up first, who does their build better and can sustain production. And I think it could potentially be a game that's decided quite early with this civ matchup.
But I definitely would, I think, we're going to see a back dock here, which is, I think, is exactly what Bulkward needs to do. I feel like if he doesn't back dock here, it's just such a huge risk.
Yeah, I agree.
But it does also, like, if Yioul realizes that his opponent's back docked, it does kind of leave Bulkward open to landing, which is one of the disadvantages of having your docks at the back.
And do you know much about these players, Shadow, in terms of, like, do they have much experience on water maps? Do they play them often?
I actually couldn't tell you that much, to be honest. This is Bulkward's home map. I think we did see islands last week as well. I don't for 100% tell you though, honestly.
Well, you haven't memorized the playstyle of all the incredible amount of people in your tournament? What?
96 people.
Game. 96 people, really?
Yep.
Oh my god. You and Zeb are absolute beasts for putting on this tournament, can I just say? Can I also just say, that was a 3-villager panic house from Bulkward there. I've seen him get housed quite a bit.
And he used his out to take his ball, which I feel like is a very unnecessary thing to do.
It's kind of unnecessary, yeah, and I feel like it might have caused the distraction as to why he ended up getting housed. Yeah, kind of unnecessary, but maybe he's of the mentality like, well, what else am I meant to do with my scout on freaking islands? But he's pushing in the deer now.
Have a look at both players' res. I feel like Yioul should, like, he needed to kind of be up pretty much now. Like, the loom should be coming in and then he should be clicking up. I think 21 pop is a little bit late. Maybe I'm wrong, actually. I don't know my water builds that well, but I feel like 21 pop and loom is a little bit late on islands.
I should know that because I actually studied an islands build order, but I can't remember it for the life of me, so a lot of good that did. But Yioul is up now, so he's going to be up first, and what I'd really love to see, I don't even know if this would be a good idea, but in my pleb mind, I'd be like, okay, you're up against Vikings, you're on islands, you've got your forward dock, send one of those fishing ships out. Maybe that's not even viable because there's so much shoreline to search for a dock. So maybe disregard that thought, but it would be nice if he could get that intel.
Bit strange from Bulkward though, going for a mill. You don't normally go for a mill on islands until kind of mid to late fuel age.
Yeah. It is interesting, and I think that might bite him in the back when he doesn't have as much wood as he wants.
That being said, Vikings do save a little bit of wood on their docks, and these two villages are... they're spazzing at this point. That's not even kissing and making a little bit of love, that is just spazzing.
They're dancing, Shadow. Come on, they're really happy that they got sent to the berries in the Dark Age. They're like, look at us. Oh, now the boys are having a go.
That's better, that's better.
May I have the stance? God.
Oh, and Bulkward now fixing it.
Oh, party people.
Oh my god, that was beautiful.
So, Yioul does have the double dock out, but he can only produce one fire galley at the moment.
It was a little bit late onto his gold from what it looked like before.
Yeah, and just not... I think he was one villager short from how I would play it. I'd have 5 vills there earlier than him getting the 5th villager there now.
Did you see Bulkward is going for an FC?
Yeah, and I'm very happy to see that Yioul did send the fishing ship around to scout it. So he knows where that dock is, which is so important now that these fire galleys are coming out. They know where to go instead of wasting time trying to look for a dock on the front.
That's so risky though for Bulkward. Like if it pays off for Bulkward, like he's in such a strong position here. And like
I think it will pay off for him, actually. I'm gonna have faith.
That's an insane uptime though. I think that's gonna be like a 1430 uptime.
Yeah, he did it really well. He needs to make sure he's prepared for more docks to be placed.
There's like quite a few on food, and that like he will need to kind of be moving all his villages from food to wood and gold. Longboats are pretty damn expensive. So these fire guys need to be more proactive for you. Like you don't really worry about the numbers of galleys in early feudal age with fire galleys. That being said, these fish will be sniped. Or at least idled.
Which is quite awkward because, I mean, he has rearranged his eco now. He does have more on wood, which is good, but losing those fishing ships does mean he's got 1 on food.
And I see Yioul tasking these 2 fire ships onto this galley. and having the other two chase, like patrol the shoreline. But we do see Bulkward getting 2 forward docks out.
I really like that move.
I feel like Yioul's just not gonna be able to punish Bulkward for this FC.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's sending all his fire galleys around the back because he's thinking big brains like, oh yeah, I'm going to mess up my Viking opponent by going around the back and dealing with these fishing ships and these docks at the back. He doesn't know about the forward docks, and that's going to be really troublesome because they are producing longboats. God, they produce so quickly, right?
Big mistake from Yioul, in my opinion. He's adding more fish at the moment. And I know that he currently has water control, but I feel like on islands it's not reliable enough. At this stage of the game to add more fishing ships. I feel like you'd want to have the military lead going against the Castle Age Vikings.
That's it, yeah. Especially when his opponent is castle. I think it's just, yeah, throwing those resources away, essentially.
We do have only 2 longboats at the moment, 2 more in the queue. And there's one that's going to be sniped on this bottom dock here. Don't know how many longboats, look at them go down to these 2 fires as well.
Yeah.
I feel like, I'm not sure if Bulkward is going to get away with this.
Yeah, I feel like I'm glad to see those 2 on the left-hand side, top left, not going down. He just can't take that engagement against 7 fire galleys when he's got 2 longboats. I think he really needs to keep the longboats alive and mass up. Otherwise, they're not going to be going to have, yeah, the impact that they otherwise would.
But what I really like from Bulkward here is he also only actually gone for 5 on food at the moment. Only 1 of which is on these berries, and the 4 fish are still working for him. I feel like this is, like, at this point you kind of have to do that. Like, you can't afford to slack on military production against this many fires. And Yioul's almost into the Castle Age. Now, I'm not entirely sure if galleys are better than fires against longboats. Like, apparently, from what I've been told, galleys are a bit better.
Depends how they're used. Like, I think this is... Yeah, Yioul definitely has to go back here now that he's on his way up to castle. He can't lose his numbers.
And he's gonna lose all his fishing ships as well.
Yeah. I think from what I've seen, galleys would be better against the longboats, maybe with fires in front, just as a buffer.
And Bulkward, from looking like he wasn't in a great position, now kind of flipping the game on its head. Getting that kind of
completely.
That longboat mass that he needs to get. They don't even have Bodkin, but they don't need Bodkin yet. That's the important part here.
Yeah, that's true. And it is really critical for him to keep his numbers up. Really good move from Yioul just to keep those fires safe so we can have those 9 upgraded ones once he is castle, which will be soon. Loom coming in for Bulkward now, let's go.
We do see Yioul doing this galley switch and actually getting a couple of demos. I've once seen on Mr. Exchange's channel, a couple of demos actually managing to take out an entire stack of longboats.
Oh no. Well, I mean, if they camp next to the dock like they are now, it is really risky. That's 2 villagers going down the woodline there. Not major, but still...
It's still damage.
Good that they're doing something. Yeah, exactly. Damage is damage. Same with these 3 longboats down south taking out some fishing ships.
So Yioul now have doing up galleys. I feel like the numbers though are just too inferior almost, and I feel like the galley switch is coming in a bit too late.
I agree, and it's only from 2 docks or 3 docks eventually. But I mean, the difference in military at the moment, 22 to 15. Villager numbers are quite similar. Bulkward housed for a long time now. It's been flashing up there for quite some time. But this is really bad for Yioul if he does get sandwiched here. Bulkward kind of... I would say he doesn't need to run here. If he just keeps these forward longboats stationary, it means the back ones have time to come forward and take these ships out.
The thing is that when the fires do engage, they do so much damage, and I feel like not just keeping your numbers here alive for Bulkward is winning.
Yeah, that is very true. And numbers, he has 23 military, but 2 dock production of the longboats compared to 3 for the galleys that are messing up forward as well. So it's quite back and forth, isn't it?
I still just worry, like, these are the numbers of longboats that are scary, like 24 longboats.
Yeah.
Like,
and more on the way.
But the fires
but I've
on the
got to
front
engage.
and the galleys are
No,
behind
this
it.
is not effective.
And where's the demo? Is the demo getting a nice shot in here?
Oh,
Oh, it does get sniped.
yeah.
And this is the thing.
This is still good.
This is why I'm not sure if war galleys are really the way against longboats. We just see that the longboats are able to just do so much damage. That being said, they are doing not as well as I was expecting them to here. And I kind of have to get a little bit closer. But this is still a very much a winning trade for Bulkward.
Yeah. Oh dear, 3 demos being produced out of these forward docks and no production from Bulkward.
It could be really rough for Bulkward if he loses this mass of longboats,
Let's
but he
see
does
the
have
demos.
gold on the queue.
It was a good demo. There it is.
Oh,
Go, go, go.
come on.
No.
Oh.
I mean, 1 landed, 2 landed. That's
All 3
something.
landed, but like, and they said you got a lot of damage, but there's just not enough galleys behind this now to capitalize off of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 16 military to 3.
I
I think this is really dominant for Bulkward.
And Yioul's only way really back into here is to get a castle to then protect the docks, to then try and mass his military numbers up again. And that's not a position you really want to be in, especially with having so little on gold, food, and wood. Bulkward should be up to castle Imperial Age a lot sooner. That being said, he has not himself really struggling on the food count at the moment.
Yeah, 4 fishing ships taking on shorefish at the moment is not super ideal.
These
Ballistics
docks are
coming in though.
killed mercilessly though.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised at the damage. Oh, demo is not going
It's
to
those
land
extra
either.
shots.
It's really good that Bulkward's keeping his attention on the longboats because they are so important to him. He can't lose them to demos, and it's really risky being forward at those docks.
I really don't know what Yioul can do here at this stage. Like I think
a landing is his only chance, right? But there's outposts going up on the right-hand side from Bulkward, so he's well prepared for that.
and Condottieri are terrifying because I don't need nearly as many upgrades as most other units that can do the same kind of eco damage that
Bulkward also
Condottieri can
just
do.
got Town Watch, so you can definitely. Well, I really think you can tell that this is his home map. Wait, this is Bulkward's home map, right?
Yes, this is.
Good, just checking before I say something completely inaccurate.
Oh, Yioul's getting the transport queued up.
Yes!
But, as you was mentioning before, I think Bulkward actually might have entirely... yep, he has vision on his entire map.
Yeah, he's got Town Watch, he's got outposts up, that's what I mean. He's prepared for this map. I think it's a really good home map pick for him. And he knows what he needs to do. He knows he's so open on the right-hand side, so at least get some vision down there while he continues to dominate on water.
The thing is, I feel like once Vikings get control on water, there's almost no stopping them.
There are 3 villages in the transport ship and no ships on the right-hand side, so I suppose they will land, but yeah, with Bulkward's vision, I think he's going to be able to react to it pretty quickly.
And Yioul not up to imp either, just means that he can't go Condottieri. Champion line too expensive to go into. Knights, he has got the gold kind of floating here. So I feel like Knights is kind of the plan here, and I feel like it has to be.
Yeah, he'll really have to... Yeah, I think that's all he can do. The food count's a little bit of a shame, and especially not having any fish doesn't help with that. But let's see where these villages are dropped off. I love that the scout. I mean, it's only.
He's blocking it with the scout, I think.
For real, I'd be so impressed if that's okay. I mean,
the Yioul, I would just land, kill the bash down.
Yeah.
Same kind of thought process there.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the longer that Yioul kind of doesn't land here, the more time he's giving his opponent to react to this.
Yeah, absolutely. And Yioul doesn't have any docks anymore, so this is his only chance is this landing. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of reaction we have. Stable goes up. 2 stables.
And the Vil Rush.
Yeah, I think. Oh.
You almost need like a military unit to go alongside this. Like just a single military unit on your own home island to try and help with this.
Yeah. I mean, hell, bring the scout back.
Okay, now Yioul is pretty much just guaranteed himself to get at least one of these sables up though.
Yeah. Put a tower up, right?
Yep. Oh, actually, yeah. Bulkward puts a tower up here, and the vills are battering down the palisade. Rip.
I think.
This is over. There's no way, and the longboats are here too
the
now.
longboat's there, yeah.
And he's bill rushing the transport. GG's called.
Yeah. I mean, props for the attempt. Like,
Yeah.
that's all he could do, right? He completely lost water, so he's got to go for a landing. But I just think the execution of the landing wasn't ideal, and that was game ending.
I feel like I'd almost go for like a couple of transport ships and try and land like a number of units at this stage.
Yeah, it takes so much APM really to pull that off, though.
That is true. Hello, Em. How you doing? And look, Heiji's very decisive, isn't it? 52 to 21, and then the timeline just paints the whole story.
Yeah.
So we'll be going to game 4. Give me a second, I'll pull that up.
Yeah, I'm ready when you are at 10 seconds.
Yep.
So remind me what our score is. I would love to have your stream open, but it would use too much of my internet.
Give me 1 second and I'll sort that out. I just need to update the scoreboard as well. So it's currently 2-1 in favour of Bulkward.
Nice.
We are in hideout. Unpause in 3, 2, 1. Celts versus Mayans, and this is actually one of those situations I would hate to be Mayans. Mayans are the only meta civ without redemption, and dealing with Huang push as Mayans, as I found the other day when I was doing a Huang push against Mayans, really difficult to defend against.
Yeah.
Not sure if that's what Bulkward's gonna do, but I feel like if you go Celts in this map, it is a little bit of one of those civs.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think he would be happy to find that Yioul did pick mines on this map. I think that might make him kind of confirm that that could be his game plan.
That being said, an option for mines could be actually massing the feudal archers and then kind of trying to masterpiece with a significant number lead. Obsidian arrows, everything. I'm not sure if that's the plan or if it'll even work.
It's so risky against Celts though, because all it takes is one good mango hit.
Absolutely.
And just defensive siege could really just, make mines have a really hard time.
FC into castle drop. I feel like it's just, the thing is that if Celts are up at the same kind of time as mines are gonna be, they get their own defensive siege workshop up, and maybe they don't deny the castle per se, but they at least can defend against any further damage.
So Shadow, have a look at Yioul's map though. Imagine a forward castle drop from Bulkward on the gold.
Even, it doesn't even need to be a castle at that point. Just a siege workshop is enough to kind of scare you off.
Yeah, literally anything can completely
a single tower.
A single tower, basically.
It does have a stone to help him defend against the trash, and Celts also do have a really strong men-at-arms towers kind of opening, so that could also be interesting to see if Bulkward goes for that.
All I hope is he does take advantage of that really shitty gold generation.
That's terrible. Like, I've seen bad hideout. I've seen bad hideout gold generations. That's probably the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, and looking at his own map for Bulkward, he's got a really nice safe gold, 4-tile gold. Yeah.
And he still has these other golds that are somewhat accessible. Like, if you compare them to where Yioul spawned, anyway.
Yeah, well, if Bulkward walls off near the relic on the top left corner of his walls currently, if he walls that off, maybe even the other side as well, he's got another safe gold, safe stone. You could possibly say the same for Yioul if he does preemptively wall this little, 6-tile gap to protect that shitty gold generation. Maybe that's an option.
That's interesting. I didn't think of that. I just don't know if it'd be worth the amount of... Like, I think if you're expecting it, it's worth possibly considering that, but it's just so much eco investment at that stage of the game.
I don't think it's so much, honestly. I think it could be a good, like, just in case kind of move. Because think of the, like, just sending one Vil out, not now, but even, you know, even hell, as you're going up to feudal, just sending one Vil out, walling that off, I think I would want to take that loss of eco to at least have some security on those golds.
Definitely. Bulkward not really using his scouts to look forward here. Tells me he's just going to go for pretty standard FC kind of play and possibly FC Huang push. If he is going for an arms towers here, I think he is making a big mistake by not actually scouting his opponent.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good indicator that that's not going to be his plan.
And yeah, we see him pushing Deer as well now, so that's... I think FC Boom or FC Huang is kind of the line of play we're expecting to see here. So we won't know what Yioul3's doing just yet. If he goes on the stone soon, we will be able to assume FC Castle drop. And as I was saying, like, I feel like, yes, you might get the castle up, but with defensive siege, you better defend any further damage.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how both players kind of plays into the early castle age.
Did we see Yioul push Darren?
He must have already pushed them all because he's still got so many sheep alive and he's got the two farms done already.
The map is quite even, hey. If you're looking at the extra res on it, relics as well, and just the layout of it, it's really quite fair.
It's actually much better than it used to be.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since I've played Hideout, admittedly, and I kind of avoided playing Hideout like the freaking plague. But seeing it after a while of not playing it, not watching it, it's like, hey, I don't hate this map as much now.
Bulkward going for a 24 pop-up. Now, that does indicate to me he's going to be doing... I'm still going to say FC Huang push. I feel like he could do FC Boom quite comfortably on this build, though. Like... But I think this is one of those, like, probably wood or stone selling pushes, and you don't really want to be selling resources if you're going for a boom.
Yeah, and I definitely think he would have to, because it's 24 pop is going to be quite tight, right?
I think it's only possible with selling resources. I could be wrong.
I think so too.
Or if you're like got a very specific civ bonus, like I think Lithuanians can do 24 pop.
What's that Lithuanians? Lithuanians a beast.
I think Mongols can as well get away with something similar. Yeah, we see the market blacksmith. We're definitely gonna see res sold here. Yeah, it's gonna be FC Huang. I think it has to be FC Huang push here.
Which I'm really excited to see, to be honest.
I'm surprised he didn't grab Bloom whilst he was housed. Maybe the build doesn't allow for that, though. You're losing a scout, though, which is going to be huge. And what res is going to be sold? Maybe none of the res is going to be sold.
Is he just going to wait for the extra 100? Oh, no, there it is.
There we go. So we're selling FC. And now we will see what he plans to do. Like, Bulkward does still have his scout alive. Yioul doesn't have his scout alive. You're not even up to the feudal age just yet. He's on stone, so we'll be going for those blooms. But if the siege work, oh, let's just say that I still haven't guaranteed Bulkward is going for it. But if the siege workshop is dropped early enough and a monastery, it makes it really uninviting for Yioul to drop the castle too far from his starting TC in reality.
Yeah, and that makes it hard then if he's going to have a defensive castle, and it's very obvious that he's making plumes. Then I think Celts are just going to be able to deal with that then, having that intel, and I think they'd be in an advantage.
But we see Bulkward seeding a lot of farms, which, based on everything else, I think he is just going to boom. I don't know if I like this. Like, yeah, I feel like with selling your res kind of FC, it's usually an aggressive play.
Yeah, if you want to be up that fast, you've got to take advantage of it. And he is going to be up hella fast. So it kind of could be a bit of a missed opportunity if he is just going to sit back and boom.
That being said, again, like it's one of those things where what do mines do an imp against Celts as well? Like I feel like Celts are one of these civs that just can deal with mines pretty damn well.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. He hits castle now. There's Loom. Forwardville.
Singular Forwardville. Don't like the fact
Yeah,
there's only one.
Braveville.
You might just see, sorry, excuse me, we might just see Bulkward using this build to wall off though, instead of going for an aggressive play.
Nah, there's the aggressive siege workshop.
Is he going for TC and C? I don't like that. How can you sustain a siege workshop and TCs? And we see Yioul stonewalling.
That explains the amount of farms, I suppose, but yeah, Stonewall goes up. I definitely would want to see 2 vills sent forward by Bulkward. It's so risky if you're sending just 1 vill forward. If anything happens to it, it's just like, okay, well...
Like,
that was a bit of a waste.
Wolf for 2... I'm not sure if there are wolves in this map. I think there are.
I have seen... No, I see a bear.
Yeah,
I see some bears.
Like, if this is like you get unlucky, there's 2 bears that you haven't scouted in like 2 little small spots of darkness. That's enough to kill your villager.
Oh, look at the castle placement from Yioul. I think it is a good move to put it defensively when your gold is so crappy.
And especially in this position, I feel like if you place it any more forward, it's still at risk of being denied. Whereas here, it's very hard to deny this castle. I actually don't dislike Yioul's position as much as I thought it was going to. It's going to be on 2 TC, and it's going to be on 1 Castle of Plumes. Against Bulkward, who has gone for this forward siege workshop.
It's going to be a Mango and a Scorpion from Bulkward. He is pretty tight on resources otherwise. But I think, yeah, honestly, I think with Yioul having the defensive castle up, he can just re-wall behind this.
And I think if I was Yioul here as well, I would, as soon as I have the wood, drop a defensive siege workshop as well. I know it's against Celt Siege, but I feel like it's still safer to defend with siege than it is any other unit type here. But he's going to lose another villager here.
It kind of forced Bulkward into adding the monastery.
I don't even think that Celts get redemption themselves. I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, Celt monks are some of the worst in the game.
Poor Celts.
You more add them for the enemies if they have knights. That being said, I do like that Yioul's kind of preemptively walling towards his TC here. I would like to see maybe an extra villager doing it though.
There's the siege workshop, and yeah, I mean he's just remaining calm, he's remaining defensive, and that's fine for him really.
And he's kind of just using this to buy time at the moment.
Yeah, getting some siege out himself. Villager numbers are in favor of Bulkward though, 41 to 34. That's the better uptime in adding the second TC.
And Yioul did lose at least 2 villagers in this push so far already. But you see Bulkward stonewalling off this left-hand side. Really good to see on his part using that kind of map control he has got at the moment.
Yeah, and the siege can't go to the right side with that castle there, so they've kind of got to attempt to get in through the left side. But the stone wall does make it tricky. He isn't making any more siege, but he does put up a stable and a barrack. Well, barracks full of stable. Oh, look at his scout as well, patrolling that area.
I really don't like that he's adding the stable here, though. I mean, yes, the knights might be able to get in here and do some damage, but I feel like you're in such a position where I'd just kind of get to imp and then resume push then. Yioul's gonna be on a second castle really soon, though. And
there it is.
And that will...
And I like the placement.
Absolutely, like it basically means that there's no way that for Bulkward to path efficiently here to take out the to go into Yioul's eco. Yeah. I'd like to see Yioul sending these plumes to the opposite side. I know it's partially because we do have the scouting information of Bulkward as well and what he's doing. But even regardless, you don't want to be sending them against these mangonels or scorpions in reality, do you?
Yeah, especially because he doesn't have siege out himself. So yeah, it's good the plumes are going back, but it's perfect that that castle there is for Yioul because these 4 siege units can't do anything. Oh no!
Oh.
No!
Did he just lose 3 mangoes? No.
He may as well have. Oh shush! Don't you dare!
Oh, I love it.
Don't you dare!
Hello, Combat Disco. How are you doing? Anyone just want to use the command RIP, you guys will see where that comes from.
RIP. He says RIP. He says RIP. Oh,
mate. Was that a good Aussie accent? I don't think it was.
Hey, I'm only glad that this forward Vil, singular, lonely, brave little Vil from Bulkward did survive because he is able to repair the siege, which is really nice.
But Yioul's
Knight's going around the
forward,
right
and he's
side.
gonna get in. Like, he's gonna kill his villager. Oh, almost just passing, but that villager going down, and Bulkward doesn't have anything at home. He will need to drop a defensive siege workshop. He wants to defend at home comfortably here. That being said, there are 3 TCs up for Bulkward. Oh, Seth coming up now. Still anyone's game though. Villager difference is pretty comfortable in Bulkward's favor, 58 to 45.
So let's just hope that these plumes, well, let's hope for Yioul's sake that the plumes can do some damage here. And I really think they can, especially with the forward farms there on the wall.
And it's just, there is just no, there's no defensive castle, there's no defensive siege. I think what I do if I'm Yioul here is I just attack the gates. I get +2 attack. I think that really will be one of the big problems here without having +2 attack. And I run into Bulkward's base and just try and do as much damage as possible.
Yeah, I mean the knights and the siege are coming back for Bulkward now. Kind of ashamed to lose any attempt he had on a push on Yioul's base though, but there's really nothing he could do with those 2 castles there.
I think that's the right play from Bulkward. But I really would, this is a bit of a nitpicking on my end, but when there's a perfectly easy gate to attack, I would never go for the wall. Yeah. And it makes it so that if there is a siege workshop here and there's 1 mangonel, pathing through that 1 tile is a lot harder than pathing through 3 tiles here. Yeah,
absolutely. Let's see whether they're going to react to the knights. Quick reaction.
And the knights will just get eaten. They haven't got any defense upgrades, and the plumes not even having +2 attack doesn't matter here.
And the plumes couldn't get +2 attack. He's only getting vodka now because the mangoes did destroy his blacksmith earlier. So hence the delay on the upgrades there for the plumes.
We do see a lot more plumes heading forward, but there is 2 mangonels and a scorpion. And there's pretty much nowhere in hell, like, I'm not going to be trying any kind of Viper here or Myco here. Like, it's just not a good time. Oh, attack round! Look at it, look at it!
See, this is just...
If you want to kind of go, if you want to commit to Castle Edge here, I think you go Eagles as well. You go Eagles, plumes, and you take the siege out and you use the plumes to then go and wreck Eco. And then you even add siege as well. Yeah.
And Bulkward making the right move, walling up the right-hand side with stone walls. He did finish the left-hand side as well, so he's relatively safe now. He does still have a forward, the forward villager. Potential for some things to happen here. 3rd TC going up for Yioul on the gold. I kind of, maybe Nitpicky would put the TC on the gold that's not protected by the castle, but hey.
I'm not sure. I think with the kind of map control Yioul has kind of established, I would agree. But I do think there is that kind of risk with that TC now being able to be pressured by Mangonel without this little choke point being walled off.
This is true, yeah.
But I still don't like that Yioul hasn't walled off either side at the moment. Like, I know that one side is pretty much impossible to wall off, but the right-hand side I would be walling off if I was Yioul here.
Yeah.
But Bulkward's picked Imp first, and he has 87 villagers to Yioul's 68 villagers. And he's going for fortified walls, so he doesn't want any risk of Yioul being able to break through. And Yioul's nowhere near clicking Imp at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Those 2 castles really are expensive.
And it's great. Yes, he's got 32 plumes, or he's got 30 plumes on the field. But they can't do anything.
Well, what do 32 plumes do against 5 onagers?
Yeah, and against fortified wall.
Actually, a really nice touch by Bulkward here, in my opinion.
I agree, yeah.
I think if I'm Yioul here, I give up any hope of pushing these sides. I get up to Imp, and I get Onages, and I cut through the middle with
Cut
the
through, yeah. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Hello, Captain O, how are you doing? But he is adding outposts. This is something that's been really consistent for Yioul, and I really like to see it. He has been adding outposts, not just to this set today, but in general, he's always been adding outposts. It's really impressive to see, like, he's kind of using this to try and establish vision, trying to keep an eye on what his opponents are doing.
It's a really good move, yeah. And it's really good that he is consistent in doing it. It just goes to show that it's a habit, and I think it's a really good habit to have ingrained.
We did see Yioul selling about 1,000 wood just there, not even being able to click up to Imp after it, so...
Oh.
That's a little bit of a macro mistake from him.
But he will be quite far behind.
And Bulkward first to the Imperial Age. And first thing he's taking is Onager.
Yeah. Nice. I think you've got to. There goes the stone wall on the right-hand side for Yioul.
Okay, I really like that Yioul now is taking the initiative to get this wall up. He has mines as well, so they are cheaper. So it's not even as eco-intensive. But the thing is, Bulkward, is he getting trebs at the moment? This is one mistake I think that Bulkward's making. In this situation, he's got at least one castle up. Start making trebs instantly. Because you can't push these castles without either siege ram or without trebs.
Yeah, and I think you definitely want to prioritize getting rid of the castles of a mine player. Especially on hideout when those castles are in such good defensive spots.
Absolutely. I feel like this is where things can get a little bit airy if Yioul's micro is really good. But I still, as I said, there's not a chance in hell that I micro against more than 2 mangonels or onagers.
and Celt onagers with your entire army, it's just too big a risk.
I'm surprised Yioul hasn't. You do see him teching the first armor upgrade for infantry, but I think he's thinking about some eagles now. I'm surprised he didn't start looking at going for them a little earlier. And maybe it would have even, as I said, go for that kind of full castle age play with eagles and plumes.
Yeah, it would be his most viable counter to Celts, right?
In my opinion, absolutely. Like, it's very hard to... Like, it's very expensive and it might not always pay off. But I just don't like going late against Celts. Celts have the Woad Raiders, which deal with eagles really well. They have the Onagers, which deal with plumes really well. And again, Mesler, the only civ without Redemption Monk, which makes it even more difficult.
Siege Engineer has been researched by Bulkward. I have to just criticize myself for a second because I kind of forget that tech exists. So I love when I'm casting games or watching games and I see it being actually researched as it should be, because I'm like, oh yeah,
that
Siege Engineers exist.
And we do see elite Woad Raider tech for Bulkward, and I feel like this is the best possible army comp for him.
Yes,
he is floating a lot of wood though, and I would like to see that kind of being addressed.
Oh my god, that is an insane amount of wood.
Because Yioul's macro in this set so far has been quite a bit better.
Yeah, and I can understand how easy it is to lose track of your wood count when you're Celts, and especially on the hideout, and so easy to just, oh whoops, I banked 5k wood. My bad.
5k, try 23. I've done that before.
Oh boy.
That was back in the 1k Sue days though. But Fura Celtica coming in as well, Masonry as well.
Fura Celtica is a bit more exciting than Masonry, but I do want to comment that Bulkward's use of the university has been really awesome. Like, he's not just building it for, I don't know, chemistry and that's it. He's got fortified wall, he's got siege engineers, he's got masonry. He's producing trebuchets. Let's go.
I feel like the trebs are a little bit late here though. I feel like he could have been doing pressure in early Imperial Age here. Like, if you're going for an earlier imp, there's almost no point in going up to imp if you're not going to use your Imperial units.
Look at the double castle placement, like just 4 castles in a row. I think it's kind of even slightly questionable placement, but I also see the benefit of having those two castles where they have been placed.
But then if Yioul did, for example, as we're saying, kind of chop through or go even to the right hand side now, the position of these castles actually comes into question. And I feel like they're I feel like they're a little bit unnecessary.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
13
like
Woad
a
Raiders.
bit overkill on the left side.
Well, how many eagles does Yioul have? I can't see where the eagles are. I think he's at least 23.
Oh, I see them on the right hand side, yeah. 24.
And I feel like that's when like the Woad Raiders numbers are sufficient here to deal with any eagle raids, and Bulkward isn't being greedy with the position on the trap either.
I feel like the eagles kind of need to get into position here, otherwise he could be caught out in a bad spot.
I don't see any, like, do you see any way of Yioul clutching this? I feel like he needs some defensive traps maybe, but that's still a losing position, I think.
It's looking quite questionable, to be honest. The eagles coming forward now, they are elite eagle warriors.
Oh, will we see some battle booms on the eagles? Or is that not even necessary here? Oh, almost.
Really good reaction from Yioul, because that would have been an absolute splattering.
Yeah.
Because it moved his woadies out of the way as well. But yeah, this is really hard with those 5 onagers there. It's very difficult for Yioul to actually try and deal with this. Oh boy.
I feel like
also
if
Bulkward
hadn't preemptively teched Woad Raider here, even champions you can kind of outmaneuver. That being said, Celt champions are a bit faster as well, but Woad Raiders are very hard to deal with as Mayans.
Yeah. So castle going in the back now for Yioul. Oh dear. Okay, let's see this engagement. Let's see. Splattering? No,
they missed. If he managed...
on the plumes.
Oh no!
Could have been worse. Oh, that's the big battle bomb.
And that's killing. That's GG.
That's GG. All the plumes are down. The Woads have swept up the eagles. GG. Congrats.
Well played to Bulkward, who is a middle bracket champion.
Woohoo! G, freaking G.
Oh, what a set.
Seriously impressive. I think that last game, honestly, just that engagement there was so well executed. Just the timing, having the numbers there, everything being in position. Bulkward played that so well.
Absolutely. Amazing to see that we have crowned our first winner of the Crystal Cup for the middle bracket.
GG's to both players. They were really awesome games to watch.
I'm 1% sad that we didn't get a game 5 though.
Honestly, same. Me too.
Oh, we should have made that as a little provision. Players must play game 5 either way, so I get something else to watch.
Exactly.
But no, that was honestly so impressive. And I said, like, both players overcoming some, like, they were both 2 of the lower seeds. Like, I believe Bulkward was around seed 16. Yioul was around seed 22. So both of them obviously practicing a lot to get to the place where they got to today.